Okay, so let's go over drawing paths using the pen tool. So the pen tool is a very important tool in Illustrator, and in fact, this was the key promotional point for Adobe Illustrator when it first came out in the late 80s was this tool here, the pen tool, which was essentially the tool that you use to make vector paths. So anyways, it's really important that we learn how to use this tool with confidence and know how the tool communicates and just get really familiar with how to work with the pen tool. So I'm going to go ahead and hit P for the pen tool. And we'll kind of go over these functions step by step. So what you need to notice right now is I have my pen tool open, and I'll go ahead and turn off my smart guides. So I'll do Command U, or I can come up to View and uncheck the smart guides. And what I'm looking at right now is the little asterisk next to the pen tool icon. That's telling me that we are ready to start a path. That means we don't have any other paths selected. Now when you use the pen tool to make these smooth curves, you don't click once, you click and hold down, and basically what you're doing is you're starting the control handles. They're also called direction handles when you're using the pen tool. So I'm basically choosing the direction that I want the path to go in. So I kind of pull them out to about right here. And then as I release, I can see that asterisk went away, and now I have nothing next to the pen tool. That means I have an active path. And you can see I have a little preview of how this path is connecting to its original point. So if I click and drag again, it's showing me how that path is going to curve. When I release, it fills that part in and gives me a preview of what the next segment is going to look like. I'm going to click on this part and drag again, create another control handle or direction handle, and release. And one thing we want to know how to do is deactivate the path. So if I just hold down on the command key and click, now we are done making that path and we can start on a new one. Let's go ahead and play around, see if you can draw this path. So starting here, and I'm going to go a little bit quicker, and I just, without reading ahead, just see how close you can get with with the least amount of anchor points that you can to get all the way around the template path. Or I'll hit Command and click to end that path. Hopefully you've created some kind of path that starts over here, goes around, and then comes back again. Let's look at some of the other ways that the pen tool will communicate with us. If I hover over that end path, you can see, just like the pencil tool, I'm getting that backslash mark. That's telling me that it's ready to resume this same path again. So if I actually click and drag, I will start another control handle or direction handle. So now I have an active path again. If I hover next to the same point that I started, I'm going to get a circle next to my pen tool. So this is telling me that I'm connecting to the same path. However, if I hover next to another path, instead of getting a circle, I'm going to get a square. And this square is telling me that we are going to connect to another path. We'll go ahead and try that one. And then I'll hit Command and click. And we can kind of see this made a little bit of a funky curve in between here. So I'll go ahead and zoom in on that. I'll edit this path, so I'll hit A for the white arrow and click this path. This time I'll just kind of move these direction handles to get more of a smooth connection between those. So I'll select this point and then select the control handle. If you ever feel like you just can't quite select those handles, just zoom in a little bit and it makes it a little bit easier. So that's a little bit better. I'm going to go back to my pen tool. So I'll hit the P key and we'll look at a few other ways that this tool communicates, and I'll select the path. Now if I hover on a selected path, I'm getting a plus or addition sign next to my pen tool. That's telling me that it wants to add an anchor point. So I'll go ahead and click that. You can see when I did that, it added the anchor point with control handles, and those handles are following the original path. Now, if I hover over an existing anchor point with the pen tool, it's going to give me a minus sign. So now it's telling me that it wants to subtract that anchor point. We'll go ahead and do that right here. Just subtract that. Okay, and so one more thing I can do with the pen tool, if I hover over an anchor point and then I hold down on the Alt key, I'm going to get that anchor point tool. When I get that corner icon next to that point, it's essentially telling me that it wants to convert this anchor. So if I just click once, you can see that it takes off those control handles, and now it's essentially a corner point. I'll go ahead and do Command Z a couple times and get that back in line. If I hover over that again and then I click it with this tool and then I click and drag, I'm holding down on the Alt key. Now I can recreate those handles. So we're going to be using this feature of holding down on the Alt key and either creating corners or holding down on the Alt key, clicking and dragging, creating smooth points again. Alright, so that's the basic rundown of using the pen tool, and now we're going to do some practice drawing with it.